So why is the bicycle upside down? Well, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you, and at some point this will have to be done because hey, we all get punches. Okay, one of the hardest wheels to remove is of course the rear wheel, because that is where the electrics are, is where the electric motor, where the hub is. Okay, so but it's not too much of a problem, and I'm going to show you how it's actually done on here. The front is pretty straightforward because that's got a quick release. Okay, all right, so we've put the bicycle upside down. Okay, now let's show you. They've made it quite simple to be able to do this, and if we move the camera just there, okay, this is the cable. Okay, now really you need to remove this so that you'll be able to free the wheel out. Okay, so here you'll see there's a little you just lift that up. Okay, so that just holds the cable in place. Okay, now then, this is very important. You can see the connector there. Okay, and simple enough, there's two arrows there and there. Okay, so with what I'm going to hopefully do, if we can get the camera right, there we go, is it's as simple as you just pull those apart. Hopefully you can see this. There we go, it comes out. All right, to put it back in, obviously meet the two arrows, make sure the two arrows are together, yeah, and then that will just go back in. Be very careful at this point you don't damage any of those. Okay, so we'll leave that like that for the moment. Okay, so the rest of it is pretty straightforward as far as removing the bolts. So I've already eased those slightly. All right, but so it's an 18mm nut. Okay, so when you're cycling around, I would certainly advise putting in your bike bag or whatever you use an 18mm spanner. Okay, this one's a bit over the top, but that's the one I had with me at the time. Okay, so 18mm is what you're going to need. So you loosen both sides. Okay, so let's go around to the other side where you will see all of the connectors, what have you. So what you do, that's where the cable goes in for the motor. You see this plastic, that just slightly, very gently move that. Okay, so that you can see the bolt. Okay, so there's the bolt. As you see, I've already loosened it, but that's where you would then put your spanner, 18mm spanner, and just loosen that. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Okay, remember that. And don't get confused when the bike's upside down, because sometimes you think, hold on, which is the right way round? So just remember that the bike is upside down. You may get confused. Don't start tightening it. So release those. Now, if this is quite important, just here, let me see if I can show this properly. See that little bit there? Okay, when you put the wheel back in, make sure that it lines up so that it slots in like that. You see this little groove? It'll be more obvious when I take the actual wheel out, and it's the same on the other side. It's a little bit difficult to see at the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hopefully position the camera on the tripod so that we can see when we take it out. So stay with us. Hopefully you can see what we're doing. So as I said, I've loosened that bolt. I've make sure, see the washer, move the washer slightly as well, and then we've done same with both sides. Then we should be able to just pull that out. Okay, take, we may have to lift the camera up a little bit so you can see that, and then take the wheel out. Okay, see the wheels out, then obviously you'll be able to fix the puncher. I'm not going to go into the details of how you repair a puncher. That's pretty much straightforward for cyclists. The whole point of this particular video is to show you how to remove the wheel, okay, and obviously how to put it back. So gently, remember, use real caution, do not damage this cable. So we're going to pop the wheel back in place. Okay, so pop that cable back down there, lift the derailleur out of the way. Now this section is really important, okay, so what you need to do is to make sure, if you can, do you remember these? I don't know if the camera is, let's have a look, see if it's picking it up. These, let me drop that down a shade. Okay, got to make sure that that section, okay, lines up how we did that before. Okay, if you can't remember that, just rewind the video. Okay, so we're going to pop that back in place. Let me show you around here. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so we're going to move that slightly round so that when we drop it back in there, you see that it lines up correctly. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get this back in place. We may have to, as I said, move the spindle round a little bit. So let's get this right. Okay, so first things first, we need to get the chain, the bottom section like that, and onto the smallest cog. Okay, then we're going to move, let's get it lined up. There we go, you see the spindle? Yeah, we've got to move it around a little bit more. Then let's have a look, that's almost right. Okay, and then that, I hope you can see this. I'll move the camera around. Okay, so that now on both sides, with that section, should just slot into place. So let's put that back there and let's get this back in. Making sure that they're both the same each side. It's just about right. Straighten the wheel up. There we go. And that's slotted back in. Okay, so that's slotted back into position. We will I'm no expert when it comes to bicycle maintenance, so if I can do this, anybody can. Okay, you see they're lined up. You see that? That's lined up, and if you have a look, just remove the bolt a little bit more, you should be able to see that flat section of the spindle. Okay, remember those points. Okay, so what we're going to do now is hopefully get our camera sorted out. There we go. So what we're going to do now, tighten the wheel back in place. Just before we do that, we'll just turn the wheel, make sure that it's, yep, that's in the correct position. Okay, so we're going to tighten these back up. I'm doing both at the same time. Remember, it's an 18mm spanner that you're going to need, so I certainly recommend carrying one of those about. So we'll tighten these back up. Needs to be really tight, okay, but don't be like a gorilla. Don't overdo it. We don't want to cause any damage to the threads, but it does need to be tight. Now for this side, the reason I'm using something like this, because literally after this video I'm going to be ordering a 18mm spanner, because the spanner that I've been using is a socket. Okay, now if you use the socket, you're not going to get that through that little section there, and I don't want to fiddle about and get that this cover right down there, because I don't want to cause any problems. Okay, so that's why I'm using that for this side. Okay, so put a bit of tension on. Okay, and then don't tighten, say, that side all at once. Okay, go back to the other side and then put a bit of tension on that one. Okay, so this one's nice and tight, so we can carry on with this one. As I said, this, what I'm using, is not ideal, but I say good old Amazon is going to help us there. I'm going to get an 18mm ordered today. So there we go. That's nice and tight. Both sides are tight. I've double checked that. So remember how the video started. So let's move this along. Okay, before I connect the electrics back, I'm going to make sure that that is moving around. Yep, that's okay. That's all good. Okay, let's connect this back up. Now let's mess about with the camera. By the way, don't forget, let's put that back in place. So there's your little cover. Okay, push that back in like that. Okay, then we'll take, this is the important section. You remember I told you at the beginning? Okay, let me zoom right into that. You can see the two arrows. Arrow there, arrow there. So what we have to do is make sure that they are lined up. Okay, lined up nicely. Push that in, and that's it. And finally, that little clip there, put the cable back, push that over, and there we go. We're back in business. Okay, let's while the bike is upside down, what I'm going to show you is this. If ever you want to take the battery out, you literally undo that. Okay, that lifts off, and then that gives you the opportunity to be able to lift the battery out, because the cable there, that's all connected to the battery. I'll lift the bike back over, okay, and then I'm not going to take the battery out today because it's pretty self-explanatory, but that's what you do if you want to take the battery out. But we'll show you. The battery is all part of the seat stem. A couple of things we've got here. I'm not 100% sure what that is. I think that is to protect the battery, okay, and see, it's in front, and it's very useful for when you fold the bike, that actually that is then on the floor, say when you put it in your motorhome. All right, so let's lift the bike back over, and we'll show you a couple of other things. We've put the bike back over into position, okay, and as we've showed you on a previous video, see that is how you lift this up. I love this bit. So back up we go. Let me smooth the camera around. I'm doing my best to try to, there we go. And then that, see that, you clip that, lock, and that has now locked in position the handlebars. Really useful that drops down. Okay, we were just talking about the battery. So the battery is in this section here. Okay, so when your space is tight and you drop this down, okay, it goes down quite a way, but don't let it go too far down here, because it will come right out down this section here. Don't drop it too far, okay. I wouldn't go any further than this particular bracket that we were showing earlier, because that is a great feature and I like that, because that sort of protects the battery. Whether that's what it's for, I don't know. Another great thing I do like about this bike is, see that there, yeah, now that is positioned at an absolute perfect spot. It makes carrying the bike so much easier, because that is the perfect balance point of the bicycle. So I'll try to show this by, there we go, one hand on there, and there we go. It is, as you may be able to tell, perfectly balanced. I certainly like that. We've showed you before the putting together of the bike on the previous video. What we're going to do now is switch everything back on, and with a bit of luck, there we go, it should all still be working. So we've taken the wheel off, we've showed you how to do that, and just in case you get a puncture, so it's a little bit longer obviously than doing the front, which has got quick release, but it does mean I would certainly recommend, when you go out and about, carrying with you an 18mm spanner. Well, so that's just about it for this particular section. I hope that's helped and showed you how to be able to release safely the rear wheel in case you get a puncture or anything else. Well, thank you very much for watching the video. You're with Stu Bear right here on the Travelling Bear YouTube channel. Keep watching, keep enjoying, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much. We'll see you later for more great tips and hacks, and definitely all of the great locations that we actually go to. We've got some fabulous places that we're going to very, very soon, so hey, keep tuned. See you later.